Hello and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Maggie Lazar and I am excited to be able to bring you this information about assessing your capabilities as a new nurse supervisor. If you are a brand new supervisor, somebody who just got promoted, or it was in your plan that you wanted to climb that ladder, learn some skills, I want to tell you what your first steps should be. Because if you engage in this exercise that we're going to engage in, it's going to position you for success so that the job doesn't become a challenge and you just want to quit, it's overwhelming. So I encourage you to sit down. It's only going to be a few minutes, maybe 20-25 minutes, and listen and see the benefits of what we're going to be talking about. Okay? Let me share my screen with you. Okay, new nurse supervisor. First steps to consider as you transition. Because as you know, people may engage, may be, what's what I'm looking for? You were just offered the position, whether you applied for it, and your promotion, maybe it's in-house or maybe to another facility. You're going to see that some of the principles we're going to talk about are similar. And of course, the company that I represent is Nurse Training and Advocacy. This is where I'm going to house all my training and webinars that are going to focus on developing new nurse supervisors and other topics as well. What is your story? As I said, were you a nurse who were just minding your own business and all of a sudden you got offered this position? And why did you get offered the position? Was it because somebody quit, or was it because your manager discovered your potential, which is a great thing, right? Or is it because you maybe wanted the extra income that comes with the position? Or is it because you have your eye on being one day a DON or a DCS or a nurse executive? Listen, the sky's the limit. Don't limit yourself. So whatever your story is, you're going to see that these first steps are so important. And those steps don't really apply just to nurses. You know, anyone who wants to be in a supervisor position needs to really take the time to invest, to assess, you know, do you have what it takes? That's what I call it. So, are you a veteran also? Have you been doing this nurse supervision for a while and you're just wanting maybe some training and you want to see what's out there? It doesn't matter what your motive was for getting into the position that you are. We can always improve, right? We can always grow and develop new skills, and I hope you feel that way. Because the person who feels that they know everything, they got it all together, I'm like, because we all can improve, right? You agree? Good. What is your why? Again, were you just offered the position? Is it on your plan, your growth plan, right? And are you going to be moving in-house, you know, from nurse to supervisor? Because that itself brings a set of challenges. Or are you being offered a position in an ancillary or another sister facility, for example? I know some nurses who are leaving the bedside and then they're going into long-term care as a supervisor. Those are, you know, different types of moves and setting. Could it be that, again, do you need the extra income? Could it be that you just burn out at the bedside and you just want to do something different? Whatever your why is, you need to really do some introspection and you need to prepare yourself and you need to walk into that position with your eyes open. Because a lot of times I hear people say, I didn't know what I was doing. And most of the time you don't get any training, right? So going into any position with your eyes open is important. And if you accepted a position or you apply for this nurse supervisor position because you want an extra income, or maybe you're thinking, I don't want to do on call anymore, I don't want to work weekends. Being a nurse supervisor is just like Monday to Friday, or is it like 312? Is it a family decision? Understand and be clear about what your why is, because it brings its own set of challenges. People leave the bedside thinking that supervision is going to be easier. Not really. So what are some of your whys, the possible whys? I just got this job. I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to be doing. I hear that a lot. I'm worried about getting the staff to do their job. That's a major challenge. Because going from bedside nurse, where you kind of, focus on your patients, your little corner of the world, your little block of rooms, and then now you have a whole building, I don't have to tell you. It's a whole different ball of wax. I don't really know what I'm expected to do. I hear a lot that people don't get any guidance. I remember getting a position. They said, "Okay, wait till your fingerprints come back." Then I get a call, and it's like, "Oh, your fingerprint came back. Can you work this weekend?" It was like 2 days away, and I'm like, "Okay, is there any training?" Because if you don't know, you feel so validated that somebody saw potential in you that you're not going to ask the right question, and you might be thrown into a position that you're not prepared for, that you know nothing about. Okay, I know I'm a good nurse, but managing people is kind of scary. It can be. It's just different, and it requires a whole new set of skills, which is what we talk about in our course. I hope this course will give me, this is what my course, this is from my Nurse Supervisor Course, those questions. I hope the course is going to give me the confidence I need to do my job well. And this is what we offer in our course. I've been a supervisor for a while. I'm just curious about what else I can or need to learn, which is fine, like I said. And I appreciate that. If you've been doing it for a while, and you want to consider, let me see what she has to say. Anything new, anything different. Having a curious mind is a gift, because it puts you on a path to self-improvement and growth, which is great. All right, so now that you've got offered this position, do you feel anxious? Do you feel unprepared? Do you feel intimidated? Because, you may be, a young nurse. Maybe you've been a nurse for only a few years, and then now you're going to be supervising people who are older than you, who are more seasoned. You better be ready for the fire, because it's going to come at you. Because some people who've been in a facility for like 25 years, and they've refused to even consider moving and doing anything different, these people feel entitled, and they feel like, because they know the layout of the land, they know all the rules, they've seen DON come and go, supervisor come and go, and then green and with, what behind the ears, and you're going to come and you're going to tell me what to do? How do you deal with that? Okay. Do you feel unorganized? Because having organizational skills is really key. Do you feel stressed? Well, to get a position and then you feel stressed at the beginning is not a good thing. You have got to learn how to manage your stress. So do not despair. My course is exactly what you need. And what do you feel you're currently struggling with if you're a new supervisor? A lack of formal training. Again, most facilities, not all, they would tell you about their policies and procedures. They would tell you what they need you to do on a daily basis, and hopefully, I don't think they did that with me for any of my courses, as to what the regs are, for compliance when the state walks in, because you have federal regs, you have state regs. I think at the manager level, the DON definitely needs to own those, understand them, but as a supervisor, they don't feel the need to teach you that, but you owe it to yourself to know, right? So there is really a lack of formal training, either because they don't see the value of this kind of training or because of financial pressures. We know that. Lack of mentoring. Like I tell you, they just told me, "Do you want to come?" I'm like, "No, I need to follow somebody. I need to kind of see what you're." I mean, I know how to be a supervisor, but I need to know how you run your building. What are your expectations? And they didn't offer that. So you're gonna have to open your mouth and ask for what you need. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. Instead of saying, "Well, they didn't tell me that," you need to find out for yourself, because this is the norm nowadays. They don't see that they need to put you in a classroom for weeks. Most people say, "They give me 1 week with the nurse I follow, and then here is your card." Same thing with the nurse supervision, right? Confusing expectations. Do you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing? So you need to sit down with this DON, whoever hires you, and say, "Excuse me, I need you to tell me exactly what your expectations are." And then I always say in my course, get a copy of your job description, that you know exactly what you're responsible for. And of course, they may not follow the job description, to the letter, and say, "I want A, B, C, D," and then every day you come, "Oh, I need to do this." They add on to it. But if you know what your job description is, sometimes they tend to dump things on you where you just feel stretched out. So you have to be able to open and say, "Excuse me, wait a minute. I thought this was, the responsibilities, the expectations." Because if you don't open your mouth, let me tell you, they're going to overwhelm you. Heavy workload. Having responsibility for a whole building for 8 to 12 hours is a lot. There is a lot that goes into being a supervisor, okay? It's not just doing staffing. You're dealing with family members, the state walks in, the lab, the physician, the practitioners, the EMS, MDS is coming to you. People are complaining, concerned. It is a lot, okay? So you have to be able to process all that and prioritize and just kind of manage your your workload. Lack of support. How often do we hear that there is no support for management? There are no clear directions, and now that you have all the agency people in there, there is strife between regular staff and agency. It's a lot. It's a lot. Work-life balance. Okay, you may have taken the job because you want to spend more time with your kids. Are you able to strategically put your work over here and your life over here? Because I always say the job is just a part of your life. It's not your life. Even though your managers, the staffing person, the building, they feel comfortable texting you, calling you at all hours of the day, you have got to know how to set boundaries. So all these are valid concerns. But first, let's see. Before we delve deep into the detail, we need you to look inwards, okay? Let's say you've already accepted the position. It's okay. You should have done this before you accepted the position, but it's okay. If you already accepted it, we got you. We're going to help you to do some soul searching. How well do you know yourself? My slides have just kind of changed on me. My apologies. Do you feel qualified for the job? Okay? And we're gonna go over a self-assessment based on how you score. Your comfort level is gonna depend on that, right? Do you feel like someone else could do a better job than you? Well, a lot of people can do a better job than you, but they were not hired because being an excellent nurse does not necessarily translate into being a great manager or supervisor. There are two different sets of skills. Are you physically and emotionally ready? You really need to understand you're going to need a whole lot of energy, psychological know-how, emotional stability, physical stamina to do this job. Are you clear about all the requirements of the job? Get the job description and ask your DON anything else besides what's written on this job description are you expecting me to do? Because what you don't want is for somebody to write you up or tell you you didn't do this, what they didn't tell you, you are responsible for it. So be clear and ask for specifics, okay? Are you clear about all the job requirements? Is your support system on board, your family? Because if you end up having to work late and you have to pick up your kids, do you have somebody you can call? Because there are times you're not going to be able to just leave every day on time. There are times you have to fill in. You know, you've been doing that anyway. But understand that you're moving into a different role, and having that support system clearly saying, yes, I've got you. I got your back. Whenever you need me, I'm there for you. Whether it's your spouse, boyfriend, family members. Okay? Or is it a trap? Sometimes it does feel like you were set up, right? Because when they're offering you such a position, it's like, oh my God, think about it. You're only going to work so many hours, and then you don't have to deal with difficult patients, and you don't have to do any heavy lifting or whatever. Lies. You're going to do a lot more of those. It is vital that you engage in the soul searching exercise. Why is it? You want to be in the know. You want to know what's expected. I'm telling you the truth of what all you're going to be doing, okay, in the course. You don't want any surprises. You don't want to say, well, they didn't tell me I was supposed to be doing that. They didn't tell me I'm going to have to fix the toilet when it's leaking and it's like 10 o'clock at night and there is no maintenance person, right? Okay. They didn't tell me people were going to be, you got a demented patient that just escaped out of your building, and then you're going to have to call, you know, the police, you're going to have to call the state. They didn't tell me all that. Be in the know. Sharpen your skills, not just your nursing skills. In our course, we teach you how to communicate, how you deal with difficult patients, family members, visitors, staff members who are at odds with each other. Sometimes they're just like, they're ready to fight, and sometimes they have fought in your building. While you're there, how do you handle it? You got people, you know, who are totally, they come, you know, it's a different environment. Now to be a manager, supervisor, you have got to be a psychologist, a maintenance person, an engineer. You got to own those skills, okay? And then if you're in the know, then you're going to reduce burnout. You're going to become assertive. You're going to be saying, no, I'm sorry, I've worked my shift, I cannot come in. And then you're going to manage your time so well, you're going to communicate so well that they are not going to be calling you on your day off. Okay? And then if you do the soul searching, you're going to be on a road to self-improvement. Because let's say you take the course and you develop all those skills. We have about 20 habits we talk about in our course that nurse supervisors should develop. Those habits will serve you not just in your job, but in your life as well. So you're going to be on a road to self-improvement. You're going to become a more seasoned, calmer, decision maker, manager, supervisor, and those skills you take with you wherever you go. No one can take that away from you. So here is the nurse assessment that yours truly has developed. Every question is worth 1 point. I've attached it at the end of this webinar, and you can download it or save it to on your file on your computer and take the exam. And then you're going to see your scoring. If you score high, great. If you're kind of in the middle, we can work with that. You know, take the course and you're going to develop those skills. And if you score less than 5, you might want, it's going to be more challenging for you to be an effective supervisor. Okay? So the self-assessment and introspection, looking inward, knowing yourself, know how your mind works and your positives and not so positive traits, it's going to put you on a road to success. And there's also great value in investing in personality profile assessment. You know, sometimes maybe you've taken some of them. I remember when I used to have my home care agency, I used a DISC profile because you want to match people with the skills that they have. For example, if you have somebody who's an introvert who likes to be by themselves don't like to talk to people, and then all of a sudden you're going to put them in a sales position where they have to go out there and just be bubbly and talking. These people are going to be so stressed out because they have to put so much effort into pretending to be an extrovert and be around people that is going to be exhausting. They're not going to be successful, and mentally it's going to drain them. Okay, so you need to know the kind of person you are, how your mind works, how you deal with people, your people skills. That's going to really give you some good information about yourself. So some of these tests you can take online and they might be free, but they give you like a report, an explanation of how you score and why you score that way. That is such valuable information about yourself. Okay? So the self-assessment is only the first step on your growth to becoming a great supervisor. So if you are interested, our course is a self-paced, it's about 7 hours of instruction, and you start from the beginning and then you build upon, and then it's structured. I've done different videos about nursing supervision, but this one, everything comes together and it's just very well laid out. Okay, so we have 4 different modules. We have some pillars we call what is it? Collect, create, connect, and commit. Okay, the 4 C's. They're like the pillars for our course, and then it's divided into 13 chapters. We have pre and post tests just to kind of tease your mind and increase learning and retention. We have a final exam. I call it exam, but it's not an exam. It's just to assess how much you retain, and you have the answers. So, I mean, it's not punitive at all. Then we give you a certificate of completion that you can give to your manager and your HR to say, I have gone to this course. And of course, hopefully you get some feedback after you go to the course, because you have to put into practice. You know, a habit is a new way of thinking, a new way of behaving, right? So you have the certificate that's going to go in your HR file. So the next job that you apply for, this piece of paper is going to be there saying this person has on her own decided to go to some training, and we can see the benefit of that. That would be great feedback for me. And then once you sign on for the course, you have lifetime access. That means you can go back and review the information over and over and over. So these are the links to the course on Teachable. You get to the course, you buy the course, and then you process to each module, each chapter. You can decide to do 1 chapter a week or 2 chapters a week. I try to limit each chapter to about 30 minutes so as not to overwhelm you, so it's easy, it's not long-winded, and then it gives you nuggets. And then what we encourage you to do is every concept we go through, we encourage you to go to your workplace and put them into practice, because it doesn't serve any purpose for you to get all this information and you don't put it into practice. Okay, I was a supervisor and I was told I was good at it because I really invest in connecting with people. And you know, I was saying, there's a nurse, I heard her say, I don't know why I became a nurse, I don't even like people. And I'm like, what are you doing being a nurse if you don't like people? I don't know how that goes. All right, and I also give you a copy of the syllabus. You know, it's a PDF that you can just download. I hope you can download it from here. If not, you just email me, that's my contact there, and then I would send it to you. And then I give you a copy of the self-assessment we just took, and you can again save it, take it yourself, and grade yourself. Okay? So this is all I have for you in this webinar. I hope you found this teaser helpful, and that's going to encourage you to go ahead and sign on to the course. The course is, there is so much information. I try to put as much as I can in there. I didn't want it to be so long and I know there are other classes I plan on doing. There are like 3 different articles I really want to write about things, all things nursing. Once I publish those articles, I might turn them into some courses as well. But there is a lot, over my 40 years of experience that I have learned, mastered, that I'm so willing to share with all of you, because nursing is not easy. It was never easy, but now it's even more challenging. And I am really concerned about the trajectory I see. We have worldwide nurse shortage, and the challenges come from all sides. It's not just the workplace, but it's the community at large. It used to be that nursing was the most respected profession. Unfortunately, I can't say that's still the case, because the way family members, visitors, and anybody feel entitled to talk to us, and it has become a dangerous profession as well. So, but you know what encourages me, I see people are still wanting to participate, to become nurses, because we are not in it for the money or the notoriety, or there's nothing glamorous about being a nurse, but it just feeds us when we invest and help somebody else. So I hope whatever the challenges are, that you still have that love of nursing, and I see it in all the posts that I read, and the information that is shared from one nurses to each other. We still love being nurses. We love our patients. And I think the challenge is that we don't feel we're not able to do what we know we need to do because of all the external pressures. So this class, this course is just a little bitty part of what we can do to improve ourselves and make the workplace a little bit more enjoyable. So thank you for joining me today. I hope I get to see you on the other side of the course. And if you haven't seen my Facebook page, Nurse Training and Advocacy, and also the YouTube channel, Nurse Training and Advocacy. I should have put that on there, but I did not, so I apologize for that. But if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. My contact information is right there. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I hope I talk to you soon.